if we could pull up on the screen, you're responsible for the following billboards that are everywhere. Like, and I'm basically a hermit in Georgia right now, but I've been out, and whenever I go out, I see them. This is one of the first ones from Really American saying, Purdue, Loeffler didn't deliver for Trump, don't deliver for them. And what's amazing about this ad is that you were ahead of the curve, right? This is a division that is real in the state of Georgia, and we're seeing it play out on national news every single day, the divide that's in the Republican Party. Tell us about that and the rhetorical political kind of jujitsu that you're doing there.
Well, honestly, and I've said this to you before, I really believe we're on a truth-telling mission here. McConnell, Loeffler, and Purdue want to take out Trump. And so we find ourselves in a situation where we can simply just tell the truth that these Washington insiders, and we've only put these areas of Georgia that went 7% plus for Trump. But our goal is simple, just to reinforce the truth here is that these insiders didn't deliver for Trump, and that Trump supporters shouldn't deliver for them. It's really simple.
So I gotta jump in here. So Justin, first of all, brilliant. Right after my own heart, right? So in fact, I was thinking of doing something similar. Then I saw we were going to do a news story, and they said, "Oh, there's some right-wing organization that is doing this called Really American." And I was like, "No, that's Justin." So I love it. Okay, first of all, where can people go to help? And then second of all, I want to get to ask you about media reaction. Have they figured out what's going on here or no?
So yes, yeah, but it would take the type of effort it would take to get out into these rural communities and let everybody know that this was, by us would be extraordinary. The Georgia Republican Party's issued a few statements attacking us pretty aggressively. Outside of that, though, I mean, we've got 50 plus ups scattered throughout very rural Georgia. So the messaging operation, media-wise, that it would take to really inform everybody of what's going on would be substantial. And the Republican Party finds itself in a pretty difficult position right now when they're painting Lynn Wood as a Democrat. Republicans don't know what to believe. Yeah, they're telling their supporters, "Oh, Lynn Wood's a Democrat." The populist right, the Breitbart type readers, they don't believe these claims now of painting everybody who's saying to sit out the election as Democrats. And we're not actually saying sit out the election. We'd actually prefer they vote for Warnock and Ossoff. They need to teach Purdue and Loeffler a lesson because they failed to deliver for Trump. So
I love it.
And what that does for the people at home is it flips money and politics on its head. The reason why Republicans have won so many elections, and corporate Democrats too, is because they're drenched in money. And so people think that politics is a debate and like as if everybody's listening. They are all in one room, they hear out both ideas, and then they choose. No, that doesn't happen at all. One guy grabs a megaphone and completely monopolizes what people are hearing. So when Really American runs these billboards, yeah, nobody's ever gonna find out. If they do, it's like 5% or 10% who's actually running the billboards. Well, you don't like that? Great, get money out of politics. Okay, that's the main reason why the Koch brothers win so many elections. It's not the Republican Party. It's a party that's split between Koch brothers and Donald Trump. So, and that's why that was the point of Wolfpack in the first place, which is use what's wrong in the system to attack its Achilles heel. Use the money in politics to attack money in politics. And that's what they've done brilliantly here in Georgia.
And speaking of, I want to pull up the second billboard that you have there, and let's discuss that briefly because it is driving Georgia Republicans ridiculously sick. Purdue and Loeffler get rich, Georgians get sick. I apologize, my eyes went out on me for a minute, but we get it. Like, I mean, that's the truth. Loeffler made money off of COVID-19 while her constituents died. How is that one resonating in Georgia? Are you getting any feedback?
I mean, we're getting a ton of feedback on all these billboards, and we don't have the response that, I mean, the Republican Party has literally gone insane over the Purdue and Loeffler billboards. David Schaefer, the guy filing a lawsuit with Trump, the GOP chairman, is now attacking me personally, which I find a little bit out of bounds. But these are two of the most corrupt senators in the United States. I don't think the general public even realized how corrupt these people were until the Georgia runoff started. And the fact is, yeah, these are massive insider traders. David Perdue, everybody thought Kelly Loeffler was so bad. Right. David Perdue's made a third of all the stock trades in the entire Senate. I mean, this is just unprecedented. So they got their COVID briefings, and instead of telling Georgians, they called their stockbrokers. And it's frankly shameful. They belong in prison, not the United States Senate.
Justin, when people, I'm from the South, I'm from Florida. And so you know that there's this misconception that people who are from the South are of a lesser grade, that they're not as educated, that they are country or hillbillies or whatever it is that they call us. How effective do you think the information is resonating with the people in the state of Georgia? Such a big working population there. You guys have a lot of Latinos there who have migrated there in the recent years. How much do you think this stuff is actually resonating with the average man in Georgia and the average working man? Because when we talk about what Loeffler did, a lot of people don't understand that. They don't really understand what that means because they're too busy surviving. They don't understand the stock market and trading and selling and all of that. So how do you think it's resonating with the average person and the average working person in the state of Georgia?
Well, I think the actual story of what they did, right? They found out how dangerous this was going to be for your family, how much it was going to hurt Georgia families across the state financially. And instead of, again, they called their stockbrokers and then they concealed it. I think that the average person can identify with pretty easily, right? And so on a billboard, the best, we have a few of them in that same vein. But the best we have is that, they got very rich while we got sick. And then we have another one up that says they knew but didn't tell us and sold stock. So we're trying to drive that message home on a number of different mediums. We're running a ton of digital ads. I know Facebook is down, but we're on streaming services. We are going to do a little bit of TV, which is terrible and nobody ever likes to do it. But I think it's a message that resonates because the average Georgia family really got screwed here just so Loeffler and Perdue could make a quick buck.
And Justin, I want to circle back to like the other work that you're doing in Georgia, because when you came to me, one of the very first things I told you was like, whatever you do, put money into the hands of the local organizers. Put money into the hands, so you're not just running campaigns, right? You're not just running commercials. We have a commercial of yours that we want to play, but speak about the campaign to get rides to the polls and the money that you're allocating to help that venture.
Sure. So we've given $50,000 to Plus One Vote already, which is partnered up with the New Georgia Project to provide geofenced rides, free rides to the polls in Georgia. We're going to give an additional $50,000, so we're going to give $100,000 strictly for rides to the polls. An organization that I also started, Meant for Choice, was actually this week with the Black Male Voter Project, partnered up to send over 35,000 texts this last week into Georgia. So we are spending close to 40% of all the money we've raised, just giving it directly to organizers on the ground in Georgia, because ultimately those are the people like Mondale, who know how to win Georgia, and we understand that.
I love it when a plan comes together. Speaking of, let's play this commercial. Now I don't know exactly which commercial it is, but I know everyone that you guys have dropped so far has been absolute fire. Do you want to just give like a really quick introduction, because we're running short on time? Give like a 5-second introduction.
I don't even know which one's playing either.
Okay, so then let's play the commercial. Here we go. I love it.
As America's richest member of Congress with more than $500 million, crooked Kelly Loeffler is using her money to shield herself from the law. On January 24th, the same day Loeffler got a secret coronavirus briefing exclusively for senators, her first concern was for her stock portfolio, not the safety of Georgians. Amid a flurry of outrage over her pandemic profiteering, Loeffler's husband, Jeffrey Sprecher, made a $1 million donation to Trump's America First Action Super-PAC. Just a few weeks later, Trump's Department of Justice suddenly dropped its investigation into Loeffler's suspicious stock sales. Even her fellow Republicans on Fox News were sickened by Loeffler's craven corruption. Crooked Kelly Loeffler thinks the law shouldn't apply to rich people like her. Vote her out on January 5th.
So you have no problem with the flair for dramatics. I think it's an amazing ad. And one thing that you couple with it is the ability to make that hashtag. Every time you guys drop a video, you're trending #1 in the country. We have about 90 seconds left. Tell me about that.
No, that's been a big part of what we're trying to do is control the narrative on Twitter through the use of hashtags. So it's been something that we started tooling around with Trump, and now in the Georgia special, yeah, we've had, I think, 3 out of our 7 videos. Kelly was a #2, fortunately. But it gets people engaged and looking into, what exactly it is that has people calling her Crooked Kelly. And with Kelly Loeffler, there's a variety of things. Her New York Stock Exchange buying off the president of the United States to drop an investigation is just one of her many crimes. But yeah, we've really tried to change the narrative and kind of beat the right wing at their own game. And I know Cenk and the Young Turks understand this all too well. The power of digital and the power that the untapped potential there is because of an established consultant class that is simply there to get rich and take their 15% on TV ads. It creates real opportunity when you've got people that want to jump in and do real work.
Absolutely.
Justin, can I ask super quick here? So what's probably going to decide this election is Republican voter turnout. So any sense of whether you've been able to bring that down?
I don't know if it's anybody's guess if we've been able to bring that down. But some of the polling I've seen, and I think thanks to the work of people like Lynn Wood, who are insane, embrace what they do, or at least right now. Are bringing Republican turnout down.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.